Common issue with the Alliance. That's what we're working on today. The issue is the lugs. Now, this one I poked out, but let's just say you bought one of these things and this one's boogered up and this one's messed up and you only got one really good one and this is missing or it's loose. Let's just say it's loose. Well, obviously you have to take off your disc, and if you take off your disc, you'll take off the dust boot. And the problem with this is simple. You have to lock it in a position of about 4 to 5 o'clock to get the stud out. If you lock it up in here, it's going to come halfway out and get stuck by the hub in the back. It kind of did a real disservice here by just not giving a clear outlet. So you can't get it out here because here's the backing. You can't get it out here because I've tried that. So you almost have to go to the what's called the 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock position. The other interesting thing is I found out through the being loose, if you take a brand new one the same size and you stick it in there, you still have a loose lug. So what's the solution? Well, there's an easy one to do this. This is a Dorman 610 369, and it's listed that way, and it fits a multitude of American cars, but it is a metric lug, and it's slightly longer than the original. Now, I've replaced these on my GTA simply because I wanted a longer lug. The other issue you have here is the shank. The shank is wider than the original. And if you can see that, but the shank itself is wider. So you have a solution to the loose lug, but you also create a smaller issue by trying to crank this monster down. Now, how do you do that? Well, the other problem that you're going to have is that this head is slightly larger than the stock head. And the fact that the shank is now wider does not allow you for an easy installation unless you decide to take a little grinder back here and grind that hub a bit. To an easier solution, I take mine and I just grind the end off just slightly on all of them, and I'll show you on all of them. And then it's easy to get a straight in. See if you can see that. There it is. You can get a straight in position. There's plenty of room. I don't know if you can see that, but now there's plenty of room for this to go straight in. Straight in. So I'll take a nut and some washers and tighten this thing down, and obviously I'm going to grease it. Now, if I don't grind that end off, what you have here is, like I said, you have interference, a slight amount of interference. I don't know if you can see that, just slightly, so you can get the sucker crooked, and you don't want to get it crooked whatsoever. Now, the other problem is to say, okay, Joe, Mr. Smarty, how do you know how much to grind off? Well, as long as each lug weighs the same, you can get a little cheapy thing I bought on eBay for $9. I put batteries in it. Cost me $10 total. And this will take you to the gram or however you want to measure it. And I've measured these exactly. So each lug now measures exactly like they should, because as long as they're in a 4 pattern, because again, we're replacing this. So we're assuming that we need one to be tighter, and we're going to get rid of these because they're boogered up. Now let me speed it up a little bit here. The best way to do this is to protect your lug. Protect it. Put it in the 4 o'clock position. 4 to 5 o'clock position, which is free. There we go. 4 to 5 position right here. Put your protector back on, because you don't want to break You don't want to break your flange. And you're using a big 5-pound mallet. Now you don't want to whack, 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 whack. If you keep whacking it with a little 1-pound hammer, number one, you're going to be there all day, and number two, you're going to make a stress crack back there. So you just take this, and see if I can do this in one shot while I hold the camera. See if I can do this. Let me position it, and whack. Well, I was supposed to go through, and it did not. That's why, because I'm holding the camera. Let's do it again. Whack. Ah, it's loose now. And that'll just pop right out. There we go. So now it's loose. Now it'll pop right out. And it did. And that's how you do it. But you have to hit them pretty hard at the first shot, or else you can break this flange. And you don't want to do that. Whoops. I don't know which way I got this thing.